Hello, I'm Monica, and in this lecture, I will tell you something about the theory behind sustainable education. But I want to start with a few questions. What if all students learned at least the basics of sustainability and climate change? What if all students took sustainability and climate change into account when they design products or processes, do experiments, work on projects? What if all students took small steps in their personal lives regarding sustainability and climate change because we inspire them? How would this impact our society? If we want to achieve this, we need to rethink our education and curricula. The existing curricula are full, and there is little room for additional subjects. A curriculum change, therefore, seems like an appropriate moment. The program and the attainment targets will then be reviewed. However, this can often take 2 to 3 years to implement. It is also important for the current generation of students to start working on sustainability now. They cannot wait for all the curriculum reforms they themselves have requested. Fortunately, it is already being addressed in more and more subjects. We know this from the study guide analysis. In principle, teachers also have sufficient autonomy to work on this themselves. To ensure that the topics are well distributed throughout the curriculum and in a logical place, it is advisable to look at them in a systematic way. If we want to adapt all our curricula, it is advisable to do so in a structured manner. A framework can help with this. A number of frameworks have been found in literature that can be applied. Based on the fact that engineers like things that they are especially designed for them, we started with the Engineering for One Planet framework and did a first attempt to adapt it to our own situation by adding disciplinary competences to the heart of the model, since we think those are the fundamentals for our engineers. And reflection was added as well. We have to conduct further research to see how this framework can be implemented across TU Delft. The quote Wieck uses in his papers really helped us. Choose a framework and start working with it instead of waiting for the best model. That will take too much time and might lead to nothing. In practice, the framework has proven to be primarily a tool for productive discussions about implementing sustainability. It is a means of making education more sustainable instead of just ticking boxes. Here you see the challenge to match theory with education practice. If it could be used from the outset of a curriculum renewal, it would be easier to implement. A broad steering group with people from different faculties could improve the first setup to the desired situation. Or re-evaluate frameworks from literature and perhaps make a different choice based on the current knowledge. At the Faculty of Architecture and the Built Environment, we have a broad bachelor's program for which there has been a renewal task since 2022. Of the 4 aims of the renewal, we zoom in on one aspect, namely strengthening sustainability and sustainable skills in the curriculum. During the renewal process, we discovered that the many ways of integrating sustainability into engineering education can easily lead to a stalemate. While there is the forward thrust of a curriculum renewal with its strict deadlines on the one hand, uncertainty about usable concepts to integrate sustainability on the other hand can cause delays and the avoidance of fundamental decisions. Our challenge was how to bridge this gap. Let us explain how we subsequently choose what to do first and why. First, we made an inventory of sustainability keywords and the sustainability development goals in the current courses of the program. It was explicitly not the ambition to cover all 17 SDGs with the 24 courses in the program, as some SDGs are less related to the building domain in terms of content. Instead, the intention was to see where the program is strongly or less connected, so an overview picture would emerge. After this, we reasoned that our TU Delft sustainability framework was not fully developed yet. Therefore, we adopted a twofold method, top-down and bottom-up, we started redesigning the curriculum based on the preliminary framework, and we asked the course coordinators to actively connect all their courses to the SDGs, for example, in assignments and learning objectives. Although we do realize that this new combination didn't provide a finished sustainable curriculum, we will explain the outcomes on the next slides. In a next phase, it does allow for follow-up steps to elaborate the courses based on fully developed frameworks and on sustainable competences in the learning objectives. As said, our method did not provide a finished sustainable curriculum at once, but it has provided guidelines also for other institutions on how top-down and bottom-up approaches can be integrated in order to change the curriculum in a fundamental way, by a change of perspective on the design of a more sustainable curriculum and on the course's content with SDGs. Moreover, our method ensured that studyability and teachability could receive a lot of attention, so not adding more but sometimes doing less, and taking into account that a new curriculum demands a lot from staff. That doesn't mean we are there yet. We need several iteration steps to move from implementing sustainability in the intended curriculum to guaranteeing it in the attained curriculum by the students. But our main conclusion is that any method of integrating sustainability in engineering education may work, but that change can only start by daring to make a deliberate choice for a method and going with it. Now that the first year in the new format has been completed, it is time to evaluate how successful the implementation has been. We do this on the basis of, course, evaluations among lecturers and discussions with cohort groups. We also checked whether the course descriptions linked to the SDGs that apply to the course. This was not the case for all courses. During this evaluation period, it is important to check whether the correct SDGs are linked to the subjects and where adjustments are still needed. As expected, the implementation will cost time and effort. We need to keep supporting staff where necessary. If we learn together and dare to make mistakes, we can make it happen. In many places, small and bigger steps are being taken to implement sustainability and climate change into education, both on curriculum and course level, as well bottom-up as top-down. Experience has been gained in the architectural pilot project. We learned that changing a curriculum is an iterative process. There is a growing network within our university and between other Dutch universities. It becomes easier to share good practices, inspire and learn from each other. In an increasing number of programs, the climate journey begins with the Climate Fresk workshop, providing students with the initial tools they need to get started on their own.